All right, Coach Steven here. We're gonna go over my preferred way to prepare sweet potatoes. I like to dice them up into little squares. So depending on your size of sweet potato, and I have a couple different sizes here, it's gonna be a little different. Okay, so and everyone's preference is different. I like about I would say like nickel size squares, but so we take a big sweet potato, right? And what I like to do is typically if it's big like this, I'll cut it in the middle, right? And then you've got your two halves. Now what I'll do is I'll take one half, and this is actually I get this from Imperfect Produce, so this one's kind of weird. It has a big divot in it. So then I'll cut this down the middle, right? And you see I've got my two halves again. And then what I'll do is kind of slice. So I kind of look at each piece and see, okay, how many lines can I cut to get the kind of squares I want, right? So 4 cuts there, and then we'll cut off one end, slice them here, and now I've got my little squares, okay? So then just keep on going down the line here. Sweet potatoes are a really great complex carbohydrate source. You know, you'll contrary to popular belief, some people think they're high in sugar. They're actually not too high in sugar. It's about I think it's like 5 grams of sugar per like maybe like 4 to 6 ounces. So don't quote me, but it's pretty low for your average. So I think if you were to prepare like 3 or 4 ounces a serving, I think you're going to be under 5 grams of sugar, which obviously is about half the amount of sugar in a piece of fruit, depending on the fruit. Some fruit is even higher in sugar. So we got one half of the potato down. I'll bring it over here to my cookie sheet and start to lay it out on the cookie sheet. Now we'll take that other half here and we will again slice it in half. Oh, there you go, now you can see better. And this one, I'll probably go 4 again. And then we'll just kind of slice it. These ones I don't really need to cut in half again, but I don't like them all being like too much variation between sizes. I like them to be similar in size. It's kind of just my OCD. So this is probably about I think about 2 pounds of sweet potatoes overall. Okay, we've got our other half there. So here we have a really weird sweet potato, long and oblong. So this one's gonna be super easy to cut. We'll just do it all on the cutting board. So this one, we'll cut it long ways. This one we probably won't have to, well obviously, not probably, we won't have to cut it again long ways because these are all gonna be like perfect little squares. And we'll take this guy, the other half of it, dice this up. Again, whenever you're preparing vegetables like this, you know, I've been doing this for a while, so, and I'm a pretty busy guy, so in light of saving time, I do go pretty fast. I definitely recommend going a little slower your first couple times just to get the hang of it. You know, God forbid you might slice yourself if you go too fast, so take your time, make sure you're comfortable doing what you're doing. This is our last sweet potato here, and we're just gonna cut this guy up really quickly. So these ones all worked out to where, the bigger ones at least, I was able to cut them like cut the halves like 4 times long ways, and then slice them once in the middle once we had our long cuts to make nice little squares. Oh, that one got a little messed up, so we'll go like this. Finish that off. We'll put these on the cookie sheet. So again, I like preparing all my vegetables this way. Like I pretty much dice almost every vegetable that I eat. I just find that it's, I like the way like it's an easy bite size. I season them all with like a little bit of olive oil, as I mentioned in the other video, and then I'll put salt and pepper on them. So it's really, there's a few calories from the olive oil, but it's so minute because I use the sprayer bottle, which really kind of limits like you from pouring on the olive oil, so it's not a ton of calories. It's pretty negligible. So honestly, I track everything I put into my body, but I don't even track the amount of olive oil I use when I do that. So we're gonna bring this over here so you can see the cookie sheet here. Here we've got all of our sweet potatoes on this cookie sheet. We'll add the last little half here. And then what we'll do is I just usually like to make sure everything, or as many pieces as possible, are right side up. Then we'll take our olive oil. It's getting kind of low here. And just give it a few sprays, kind of try to cover the whole sheet there. Then I'll crack some pink salt on these guys. That's that. As I mentioned in the other video, my pepper crackers being a pain in the butt lately, so I'm just gonna use this pepper here, this boxed pepper. Try to spread it evenly and not put too much on there, because too much pepper can not taste the greatest to me. I mean, everybody's a little different there. So now we've got our sweet potatoes ready to roll. They've got their olive oil on them, they've got their pink salt, their pepper on them, ready to go in the oven. We're gonna put them in the oven for about 45 minutes. And like again, everybody has different preferences. I like them softer, not really hard. I'm still working on perfecting getting them crispy. If I wanted to do a longer process, I could steam them like in my Instapot or even on the stove here. Get them kind of, get them a little softer, and then I could cook them in the oven, or even like saute them, cook them in a skillet. And that I found gets them pretty crispy. It's just a longer process. It's more preparation, more work involved. And this is simple for me. I have a busy day, so I can pop this in the oven and then I can get some work done over the next 45 minutes, okay? So let me know if you have any questions about that.